hey, we have something better. We'd like for you to switch to us. Can you tell me about the appetite for switching and the process for switching if indeed they are presented with what might credibly be a better fluoropolymer product?
A distinction need to be made if this is a pure fluoropolymer with no fillers. I think the only motivation for the customer will be to have a second supplier. If the business is large enough, they will be motivated to do qualification for a second supplier for securing the supply and commanding a lower price. So that's the only motivation, I would say. If the product is niche, they don't probably go for a second supplier. But if you are talking about a fluoropolymer containing fillers, and so basically we are talking about a specialized fluoropolymer compound, that's more difficult because it is maybe the performance of the three-dimensional fluoropolymer article depends on the composition of a compound. The composition of the compound is not so easily understood by reverse engineering because in a way you can get some indication, but it's hard to really go to the final composition. So therefore, so if the performance is really related to the special know-how, the compounding, then I think the customer will not switch to the lower performing supplier, will stick to the one, or maybe they will switch will select the best performing material. So that is also something to say about fluoropolymers, especially PTFE. Typically, that was a decision of Saint-Gobain to have the compounding in-house rather than buying the ready-to-use fluoropolymer compounds, because there is a big differentiation. If you buy a standard compound made of fluoropolymer, everybody can buy, everybody can compete against you with a customer. So having the compounding knowledge in-house is strategical and will help to differentiate, because the fluoropolymers, there are just commercially available to everybody, but the compounding, so basically the type of other materials can be inorganic fillers, can be other polymers like PEEK, will have an impact on the performance. And basically sometimes, actually even we didn't patent because it's so difficult to do reverse engineering, and the patent you are obliged to disclose the composition. So we had a secret, like a trade secret.
Okay, great. So I think a few final questions here. Are there any other major trends impacting either buyers or manufacturers in this space? Are there any other major trends that we haven't already discussed that you think will have a big impact on the marketplace?
I don't think so. So I think there was 2008, 2007, 2008. There was a shortage of fluoropolymers. Capacity was limited. Actually, it was not Teflon, polytetrafluoroethylene, and so there was a shortage, and there was a price almost double. Nowadays, there is basically enough capacity, so there is no risk of this shortage. Actually, what is happening is that the Asian resin supplier are getting better and better in terms of quality. So Chemours, DuPont was the inventor of Teflon. They had the kind of leadership for many, many years. But now also, so in the 80s, 90s, also other European and American players started to produce polytetra PTFE with the same quality. And now we see this happening in Asia. So yes, there will be an impact. Probably, I think there will be some consolidation of resin suppliers. DuPont spun off the business, Chemours in independent business. Maybe more of this will happen on specifically PTFE. For the other fluoropolymers,